Morning, another nice day on the allotment. Got a few jobs to do, mainly sort of weeding and tidying. So I hope you'll join me in our tasks today. And I'm sure that you're planning your own list of tasks. But it's been a great day and we've had no rain for weeks now, which is very unusual. But I better not say too much because I'm sure that it will come. Okay, I've taken out all of the Brussels now, as they were getting a little bit big, and also had a lot of that kind of grey fly thing that was all over it. So I've taken it out and reduced the netting now to this small patch, which is just our purple sprouting broccoli. They're doing really good. I'm so pleased with them. And we're desperate to have purple sprouting broccoli because, as I said, the Brussels have finished. There's some cabbages coming along as well, but it's a lovely day and we've got some jobs to do. The storms have blown our brassica area over and broken some of the poles. I mean, it was getting a little bit old, but it's kind of destroyed the brassica area. This was kind of like a permanent structure for our brassicas. You can see the damage the wind and the storms have done. So this is going to be a job to do. I'll probably just take it all down now rather than repair it, because I can see that some of the poles have rotted and didn't hold up to the storm. And I've got a greenhouse that's coming down and going to be put over there at the end of this year, beginning of next season. So I'm going to just take this down and protect the brassicas that we've already got growing in there. There are some, it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit because it looks like the pigeons have got in. Look at that. See, you don't protect these things for 5 seconds and they're in. So I should go just shore it up a little bit, just protect whatever's exposed. And there's some spring cabbages over there that are totally fine. But it's going to be a bit of a big job, so I shall leave that when I've got the time and the materials to not only just take all of this down, but to put some kind of other protective structure up. Otherwise, 2 seconds and I can see the pigeons are going to gobble the lot. Never mind, it wasn't a job planned for this time, but that's what gardening's about, the unpredictable. These are the last of the broccoli. We've got probably 3 or 4 heads left. But you can see, I'll take you down the other end, you can see it's been hit quite badly by some of the severe frosts we've had over the last few weeks, where it's got really cold. I've left the ones that I've taken out, I left them in thinking that we might get some sprouting bits from here. What I might do is just go in and just clear those dead leaves, but leave them in because I'm not in a rush for this area, and the roots and the soil will be helping the microorganisms, so I should just leave it. And if we get something, great, and if we don't, it's no loss. If anything, it's a benefit to the soil health. I've got a couple of winter cabbages. They look very pretty because they're sort of bright yellow. I don't know quite what they are, but they look really good, and I'm sure that we'll be eating those before long. I can see the pigeons are in hungry mode because in the last day or so they've been pecking at this, I'm not quite sure what it is, it's either turnip tops or it's mooly top, but I shall find another net to put over it. But one of today's jobs is just lifting this fleece. It had some late lettuces in. I'm sure that they've all been damaged now. So I'm going to lift it, have a look, see what's going on under there, and weed and clear it up. So that's one of today's jobs, and just fold up this fleece and put it away and get it ready for springtime when we've got some crops going in. Well, it's looking very sad, as I thought. Most of the lettuces have died. There's some weeds, but quite superficial on the surface. It's not too bad. So I'll get all of this cleared and get it composted. Maybe not composted today, but get it ready for composting. The chervil has done really well and has withstood all of that cold weather. And I've just been having a look at the turnips, and underneath there, believe it or not, there are little turnips coming. So I shall put some protection just across the last of those turnips, and it might just give us a little bit of a spring crop. Yeah, so gotta get cracking. This is bitter cress, which is completely edible. So you could, or we could, take this out and add it to salads. There's some more there. It's quite common on allotments, but I'm just gonna take it out. But sometimes when we're short in the spring and we see some bitter cress, we do use it, and I have eaten it before. Well, that's that little patch weeded and looking nice. There's some tiny bits of top weed on there, but it's been hoed, so they're severed. Later on, when we empty the compost bins, we'll put a little helping of fresh compost on here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in here yet. There's some chervil, a little patch of chervil there I've left. I shall cover these brassicas with some mesh, and they're not brassicas, sorry, they're turnips with some mesh, and if we get a little crop, so be it. I don't need this area yet, so any spaces I don't need yet, I just leave. Any dodgy crops, I just leave them in, see what happens. So I think I may plant spinach here in the next month or so. I'll be sowing some seeds very soon. So yeah, that's one job done today. Ooh, I managed to do the other patch quite quickly, so I've decided that we'll have another job. So this was the second job on my list of things to do, which is to clear this area. We did have some fennel underneath here, so I shall take all of these covers off, and underneath here we had some spinach, which I can see we still have, but it's a little bit measly, but we'll give it a good tidy up, put the cages back on to stop the birds eating it, see what's going on under here. That will make it easier for when we have to tackle this brassica area if we've cleared all of this up. But I'll take you along with me as we do this job. And now I'm really hot, even though it's not a particularly cold day today. Overcast, but it's actually a wonderful day for gardening. Anyway, I should take you along with me and show you how we get on. So the fleece is off, and as I thought, there's not really a lot underneath here. We had a lot of fennel anyway, so we just tidy this whole patch up. Further down, there are some radishes, which I'll probably lift, and some radicchio, which aren't doing too bad, so I may well just keep those covered. And then here, underneath here, is the spinach, which is looking okay, so I shall keep this on as well, just clear up bits of grass and weeds that are growing underneath, and that should give us a crop fairly soon. I mean, there is enough there to actually pick a few leaves, but I won't do. It's just too cold. I'll give it a little time to warm up and grow a little bit. So better get cracking. I've just lifted the mesh off of here, and actually these are looking really quite nice. And of course they're not radicchio, they're chicory. I don't know if that's the same thing. My brain's not working very well this morning, but yeah, they're not too bad. So I think I shall leave these in, and there looks like some radishes over here, both some white radishes and some red radishes, but as you can see they have definitely been eaten by the slugs, so I think we'll take all of that lot out, except for the white radishes, which are looking very nice. And I found that the slugs and snails don't actually like the white radishes. They gobble all the red ones, but they seem to leave them, so I think I'll be growing more white radishes in the ground this year. The spinach, the weeds around the spinach was worse than I thought, so it's going to take a little time to clear all of this, but again, it's a job that needs to be done, and the sooner you take the weeds out the better. But this stuff, this chickweedy stuff, it's easy to come out, but oh gosh, you just can't stop it coming back. It's a forever battle. When you're on an allotment and you get weed seeds blowing in, it's not surprising really. You just got to keep on top of it. So while I hand weed around plants like the spinach and these chicory, it gives you a good idea of what's going on with the soil. I mean, hoeing it's a lot easier and faster, but it gives you an opportunity to see what's coming up. And like here, see, there are 2 little foxgloves that have self-seeded, so I shall keep those and bring a pot down and pot those up and put into the flower garden, and the bees will love those. So the soil is very dry and the weeds have come up really easy, so it's meant that clearing this patch has been an easy job, a much easier job than I thought. I'm just going to put these wire meshes that we've got back over the spinach, and I might even put the fleece on it just to give it a bit of protection. So I shall just have a little contemplation about that, because it's not going to be used for a little while for anything else. Yeah, I shall have a little think. But that's another job done today, and how wonderful is that? And it always looks so lovely when it's weeded. So the nets are back on, the wire mesh is back on, and I have decided to cover it with the fleece. I might as well, as I'm not going to use it for a while, and it will give it some protection. And also I've got a little bit of a gap, and I know that the birds will devour anything that's not covered. It's the hungry time for them, so they'll eat anything that they can get their beaks on. So basically beak off, because they're not getting my veggies. I'm in the shed, and we've got 3 sprayers that we use mainly for soap and water, for deterring greenfly and things like that, and also one for using BT, which I'll tell you what that is, and that helps with the caterpillars. But I'm going to take these home today and give them a good thorough wash out and get them ready, because we'll be spraying the fruit trees fairly soon with a tree wash, so these need to be all nice and clean. So they'll be coming home today. Well, I hope you've enjoyed being on the allotment with us today, and I'm sure that you've got a list of jobs to do too. It's never ending, and I'm forming my next day's jobs. I've got some structural things to do, but I've been putting off bringing the power tools down and getting on with them. I don't know why. Sometimes your mojo's just not there, but there's only a certain amount of time you can avoid it. But until the next vlog, wherever you are, happy gardening. Bye.